But this football team and those throwback jerseys in there, they got character. They had their backs against the wall. Everybody talking about who they are. We talk about who we are. We know who we are, okay? We know what the schedule looks like. We know who we played. We know who we lost to. And we know what we did or didn't do to win or lose a football game. And I couldn't be prouder of that locker room in there. Those guys, they fought and fought and fought. We're down 14 points, okay? Start off, and I'm sure everybody's going, oh, here we go again. But our guys continue to believe, okay? And that talks about character right there. That's character. And then we're up, and then we're down, and we're back and forth. But there were some big plays in there. You talk about, those two tailbacks, Quadrioles and Darren Hall. I mean, we got a two-headed monster back there. Those guys were unbelievable. Dane Jackson, Quentin Regina's strip. Dane Jackson scoops and scores. Amir Watts with an interception, dropping off as a D tackle, execution. Kessman was lights out, kicked every kickoff into the end zone. Okay, and I know that sounds like, how about his field goals? His 55, his 53, his tire at the end there to put it into overtime. Incredible. 82 on that big bubble, tiptoeing down the sideline. I could go on and on. And the way the offensive line blocked for those two tailbacks, and those tailbacks ran hard. And then of course Theron Coleman to end it on a sprint out pass that they don't do very often. But guy maybe played 15, 20 snaps today, ends up being the game winner. But just an incredible game. I'm happy for those guys in there. They needed that one, and they deserve that one. So that'll. If you guys have any other questions, I told you the whole game happened right there.
Pat, what about your play calling in the fourth quarter? You seem to get real conservative there. You just wanted your running backs to win it for you?
I wanted our running backs to win it for us. I wanted our offensive line to win it for us. If you look at the stats of that defensive line can sack the quarterback. So I wasn't going to put it in our hands of just letting those guys scream up the field and just smack us in the mouth and get, I don't know how many sacks they had, 4? I'm guessing, I don't even know, sacks. 3? That was 3 too many. But, let me tell you, that's a good football team. I give Dino Babers, that is a good football team. They just went down to, they gave the game away. I don't want to say that. They gave the game away a week ago. They should have won that game and should be undefeated. That is a good football team with an experienced quarterback that's been there, I don't know, since I got here. That's a good football team that's going to win a lot of football games. And I feel bad for Dino Babers. He's a heck of a guy. I really like him. He's a class act. And those guys played their tails off in that locker room as well. So my hat is off to how hard they fought. But you know what? Our kids needed that one, and they worked for it, and they were disciplined. But we have 3 penalties, and that's something. That's Pitt football. That's how we should be all the time. And hopefully they learn their lesson. Like, oh wow, if we only have 3, maybe we got a chance to win the football game.
What did you see in Theron Coleman to give him such responsibility today? He hasn't played much before.
You know what? He's played sparingly, but we've kind of been playing with all the tempo and all the 4 and 5 wideouts we've had out there. We've been playing. More nickel the last 2 weeks just because of the thing, and we'll see where we go moving forward depending on what the game plan looks like this week. So I don't know what we'll do, but we had Theron, we had Damari Mathis, who was cramping up a little bit. He started off at the nickel spot, and then Marquez Williams was also. So we really rotated 3 guys to keep fresh out there with the tempo and the amount of running they're doing. But I looked right at Theron at the beginning of that series and said, let's go fundamentals, eye control, lock your guy down, and by God, there you go. So got to thank that guy upstairs. He was with us the whole time, and those kids deserve it.
Pat, you held Dungy to under 50% completion, more interceptions and touchdowns. Can you consider that a win, going up against a guy that experienced?
Those guys, it's a good football team, as I said. Yeah, it's a win. I thought our defense played lights out. They put, we were put in some bad situations at times. I don't know how many, at least 3 short fields. And then even you think about the turnover. Kenny gets smacked in the head, gets his head torn off pretty much, and it's a turnover on a pass play. That was a sack, Jerry. It's a sack turnover, and our kids held him to a field goal. There were some major wins out there as far as our defense played lights out. I thought against a good football team.
What about Darren Hall? Quadra was running the ball well all game. At what point did you start feeling like Darren Hall could have that type of game? And was there a play you saw?
Last August, I felt like he could, just getting the opportunities and getting enough touches. Darren Hall's a great tailback too.
What I'm saying is you were riding Quadra the whole way. At what point did you start wanting to get Darren involved and think that they could have 2 100-yard games between them?
That's Coach Powell, rotating those guys through and getting a feel for what they feel like, what they look like, how they're running it, just keeping them fresh. When you got 2 great tailbacks that can run the ball, and those guys ran hard now, guys. There were some tough yards in there. It wasn't just, big old holes, that they were plowing through. I mean, some of those 3 and 4 yard gains that we were grinding it out, you know, to get 10 yards. I mean, those were some hard runs where you go, God, they did it all by themselves at times. I know we were blocking, but made it look like there was 5 guys on their back running for some of those runs, so I can't wait to watch the tape.
Were you trying to get a timeout there after their 44-yard catch or whatever they had?
What do you think?
I didn't see it, I was looking down.
I was trying to.
You were gonna challenge
Just
it,
leave it
though.
at that.
You were gonna challenge it, right? It wasn't just a timeout, right?
Yeah, it was a timeout to challenge it, yeah.
But did the official say anything to you?
Next question. Enough said.
Pat, I know you said you wanted the running back or the O-line to win it for you in the end there. On that last drive in the fourth quarter, were you guys kind of playing for overtime, knowing the way Alex had kicked today?
I wasn't going to drop back and throw the ball against that front four. Fearsome foursome over there. You know, one of my old linebackers at Northern Illinois is their D-line coach. I think he's doing a heck of a job with those guys. I mean, I mean, just look at the sack numbers. I mean, they were all, you know, they're in everybody's backfield when you watch the tape. But you know, we're playing for a field goal, playing for a touchdown. I was playing to win. And I knew our best way of winning is to put the ball on the ground and do what we do best. You know, you're hoping you'll pop one of those for a touchdown. I mean, we'd rather not go overtime if we didn't have to, but we were just going to grind it out and run it down. You know, we knew we had 3 timeouts, and we were just going to grind it out and go.
Pat, what's it feeling like? I mean, especially left side of your offensive line, you guys were really controlling the play. When they know what's coming and you can still run it, I mean, what does that say sort of about your team?
You know, Dave Borbley, you know, our offensive line coach, it starts with that guy and you know, the game plan part of it, you know, just doing what we do. And they did a great job of scheming them up a little bit and just, you know, playing with great technique. I mean, that you know, you got a guy rushing for what, 194 and 108 and 107. I mean, you know, your offensive line did some work today and they willed it themselves. I mean, those guys were like, Coach, just keep running. We got you. It's like, okay, that's easy.
It was a game your defense had to win, right? Your defense had to come up with the big plays. They didn't score a touchdown after in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but no, our defense played. You know, like I said, defense played good, Jerry. You know, they played well, and then you know, to finish it off on, you know, P and 10, you know, the 25-yard line in overtime and get a pick. I mean, come on, it's unbelievable.
Was the Wildcat something that you saw on film that you thought you could use against them, or did you just kind of try it once and then it worked and you went back to it?
A little bit of both. I mean, we thought we have it in every week. Depends on, you know, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and they were loading the box up, and it's, you know, it's like, you know, they're out there. You know, Kenny's out wide, so they can cover him man to man. Okay, congratulations. And then, you know, you got a running quarterback, so it's just that extra man, which a lot of people have. You know, with a, you know, quarterback that can run like that. And you know, Darren Hall and Claudia are our quarterbacks. It all comes down to just numbers in the box.
What about Kenny's performance today, quarterback? You know, what did you like about that?
You know, I thought Kenny played solid. I mean, he got us in the right. You know, there's a lot of, you know, it's not just like turn to the right and hand it off, or turn to the left and hand it off. There's a lot of checks that go on based on the safeties that are rolling and what they're doing. You know, coverage wise, there's a ton of work in it. You know, Kenny had a great game, and you know, it's a good football team.
Anything final for Coach before we get to our player
Pat,
reps?
what was the biggest challenge keeping the guys focused during the lightning delay?
What was the biggest challenge? You know, we you know, really wasn't, you know, we talked a lot of football. You know, it wasn't like lay down and take a nap. But our guys were locked in, and then we were, you know, they didn't want to take their pads off. Like, Coach, I'm good. My pads are good. We're like, take those pads off, get a dry shirt on. That was the biggest challenge, was to get them to take their pads off because those jerseys are so tight. That was the biggest challenge, is getting the jerseys back on. It was a team effort. We had everybody pulling jerseys down.
Craig, you get the last one.
Yeah, Pat, you know, when you see Darren and Quadri have the kind of days they did today, how much does that potentially change your all's offensive philosophy moving forward? Do you foresee yourselves like focusing and relying
Like
on
Georgia
them
Tech or
much
something
more?
like that? Run it every
Maybe
time,
not quite
pass
to
it
that
12
extreme,
yards.
but
no. I mean, we're going to do what they're giving us, and you know, I don't know if they even gave us the run today, but we willed the run. But we, you know, that was a tough football team to throw. You know, it all depends on who we're playing and what we think up front, and you know what we can do.